Countdown. Welcome to another episode of the Willie Bragg Show. And today is Thanksgiving. So for those that are in the festive spirit, go ahead and enjoy your turkey or your ham or your vegetarian dish for those that do not eat meat, or if you just want to chill out and have a few drinks or do whatever you want to do, be happy at what you do and everything. So I will just say that just have a great time, whatever you're into. So anyhow, I want to talk about probably one of the shortest lived governments ever to take place. And let me do this here. So let's go ahead and so you know what the hell I'm talking about. Magdalena Andersson made history yesterday as the first female prime minister of Sweden. Now, what is unusual about that, it shouldn't be unusual, but what makes it unusual is that Sweden has a long tradition of having more gender equality than pretty much any other country in the world. Norway, pretty much the same. For some reason, the Nordic countries have gone further than any other country, any other societies around the world when it comes to gender equality. And it's a good thing that Sweden made history and broke that glass ceiling for the seat of prime minister. And Magdalena Andersson became the prime minister. The bad news about it is that her government only lasted 7 hours. So, and before I go into that, I'm going to go and explain Sweden and Sweden's politics real quick. Now, as you know, with my politics, I kind of look toward Sweden as a contemporary example of what the United States could do to make our country better. For starters, when in Sweden, they have one of the highest unionization rates of the workforce of around the world. I mean, it's like about 9 out of 10 workers belong to a trade union of one sort or another. And even though they don't have a minimum wage, the unions are so powerful in Sweden that the wages are automatically shifted on a higher scale. So, and Sweden also has universal health care, a single-payer national health program. They have a welfare state. The regulation, weirdly enough, is their economy in some ways is less regulated than it is here in the United States, but is by default regulated because companies and the unions have a pretty healthy relationship with each other, and they work out with negotiation in their union contracts what just not good for the workers, but what's also going to be good for safety and things like that for the people themselves. So Sweden is a very unusual country, one of the highest standards of living in the world, and and it's one of the reasons why I became a socialist. When I look abroad, one of the many countries I look toward, and Sweden is one of them. Unlike Ben Shapiro, now Ben Shapiro will tell you that Sweden is not a socialist country. Sweden is not a socialist country at all. It's just a welfare state with high taxation, but in some ways it's more capitalistic than the United States. And then some young kid in college would be like, well, Ben, if it's not socialism and if it's more capitalistic than the United States, whatever you want to call it, let's go and adopt those programs and approach that they have in Sweden. It'll be good for America. And Ben Shapiro will be like, we can't do that because that's socialism. See what I'm saying? But anyway, now the current Riksdag, which is their parliamentary system, is called the Riksdag, and there's the Alliance, which is the center right bloc in that country, and there's the Red Green Coalition, which is the center left bloc. And basically, these right wing parties or the center right parties consist of the Moderate Party, which is their main conservative party, and and that's kind of like the equivalent of the Republicans here in the United States, except they're more sane and more secular and not as Looney Tunes as the Republican Party here. They're called the Moderate Party. Conservatism is a dirty word. The center right called themselves the Moderate Party. Isn't that just wonderful? 96 seats in their Riksdag, their parliament. The Liberal Party, which is another conservative party, and in some countries, conservative parties are called liberal parties. They have currently 28 seats. The Center Party has 28 seats as well. And the Christian Democrats also have 24 seats. And those are the political parties that are right now in that form what is called the Alliance on the center right. You got the Red Green Coalition, which was very fragile. A minority government was established. And it was the Social Democratic Party, which is what the Democrats are supposed to be here, but are not. 130 seats in the parliament. They are a socialist party. The Social Democrats are the socialist party. Perhaps a moderate socialist party, but they are the main socialist party in Sweden. You have the Green Party, and I'm going to go and talk about the Green Party in just a moment. That coalition government yesterday consisted of the Green Party, which had 19 seats in the Riksdag. And then there's the Left Party, which is the other socialist party in Sweden, with 22 seats. Now I'm going to explain what the Left Party is in Sweden. The Left Party basically were the old-line communist party from decades ago. They changed their name, and they softened their Marxist-Leninism, and they're what you would call Euro-communists, meaning that Euro-communists are political parties that did not go 100% along with what they were wanting in the Soviet Union and the Eastern Bloc, and they wanted to paint themselves as working within a democratic framework. And so these communist parties that they're referred to as Euro-communist parties are actually not all that authoritarian, and they usually link up with the main socialist party or the social democratic parties and do coalition governments. The Left Party usually do coalition governments in Sweden with the Social Democrats. In Norway, the Socialist Left Party usually form a coalition government with the Labour Party. Let's see, in France, the Socialist Party, which is the mainline party, the Communist Party usually do coalition government with the Socialist Party in France. Or in Portugal, the Communist Party do coalition governments with the Socialist Party over there. Or, and same thing in Italy for years. The Communist Party became the party of the Democratic left, and they are actually probably a little more just a mainline Social Democratic Party these days. And after the Berlin Wall came down and the Eastern Bloc collapsed and everything, pretty much all the communist parties in these Eastern European countries became social democratic parties or labor parties or mainline socialist parties and joined the Socialist International and became the center left. In Germany, the old East German Communist Party, which became the Party for Democratic Socialism, and now they're called Die Linke, which means the left in English. So anyway, that I'm just going on and on and on about that. But now let me get back to Magdalena Andersson. Her government only lasted 7 hours. And why did it last 7 hours? Well, when she became prime minister yesterday morning, she formed a government, the Social Democrats, the Green Party, and the Left Party. And I said, we're trying to do a budget for their government. The Green Party, I don't know the details, but the Green Party were not pleased with the budget. They were pissed off, and they basically decided to lead what would be called a minority rule government. They had a fragile coalition. So when the Green Party left the coalition, it just left the Social Democrats and the left as separate at that point. And she tried to go and have a singular Social Democratic Party government governing. Because of the coalitions with the alliance outnumbered combined, they were able to overrule the Social Democrats. So the center right won, and their budget passed. Well, that left her in a precarious position, and so unfortunately, Magdalena Andersson had to step down as the prime minister. She is a member of the Riksdag, or the Swedish Parliament, but they need to have a new leader for the party, and so I guess they're going to have that resolved, and there'll probably be some election going on sooner than what was supposed to be planned, because I guess it'll be sometime in 2022. So these parliamentary systems are kind of quirky, and I love how quirky and almost confusing they are. It's more exciting than what we have here in the United States, and so. But the sad thing is that the first female prime minister of Sweden, unfortunately, lasted for 7 hours. And, it's unfortunate, but it must be probably even the shortest government in the history of the world. If it is not the shortest, if it isn't the shortest, it's right up there. But, this is more exciting than Democrats and Republicans with their culture war nonsense and their neoliberal economics. And, and then, the right wing always seemingly winning a lot of major battles here in the United States. And you compare that to what goes on in places like Sweden, it's just different. It's night and day. It really is. So anyway, I wanted to talk about that, and I hope that things can get resolved. And the way it sounds like that Magdalena Andersson could become the prime minister again at some point in the near future. So, as I said, it's just kind of a unfortunate situation. But you know what? The left might have, the fragile left-wing coalition collapsed. But here's the thing. The left in Sweden are still a hell of a lot stronger than the left here in the United States. Hell, even the left in the UK, which the UK is a pretty conservative country in a lot of ways these days, but their left is more relevant than our left, because what passed for the left in the United States, as far as our elected officials, the supposed progressives called the Democratic Party, these motherfuckers are to the right of the right wing in many of these European countries, which is very unfortunate. Anyway, I want to give a shout out to Hot Retarded Chicks Heart Retarded Chicks. I am always glad to see you. Good morning, and yes, happy times. I was gonna go and do what was called a drunk stream last night, but what happened, unfortunately, I had to go to work and work graveyard, of course. So there was no drinking for me last night, and I had a bottle of wine ready to go, and I was going to do that live. I was even going to do a little bit of karaoke. Yeah, of course, I had to be intoxicated a little bit to do that. Although I did karaoke sober a while ago, a couple of weeks ago, but you know, I do it better when I'm intoxicated. So anyway, let me do this real quick. Give me a moment. Okay, if you like what you heard, press like and comment. If you disagree with what I have to say, well, comment anyway. We'll have a conversation. Um, Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it because we are, in fact, the muckrakers of our time. Feel free to subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, and wish everybody, a great festive season here. And if you're curious about what I'm wearing, this is from my days when I was in the Socialist Party USA. When I was the Socialist Party of North Carolina, we made our own clothing line, and Workers of the World Unite Against Globalism is what it says, with a little fist and rose, because our symbol in North Carolina was the fist and rose. So it was a nice little organization while it lasted in North Carolina. And who knows, maybe there'll be another Socialist Party of North Carolina, or the Labor Party of North Carolina, or a Social Democratic of North Carolina in the near future. There are some projects, and there are people I'm talking to about this sort of thing. So anyhow, I am going to wish you all a good day, and hold tight second here. And I shall see y'all again very soon. Okay. I will talk for a quick, brief moment, and I may do another video. I'm not 100% sure. So I wanted to also give a shout out, real quick, also to Invalid.org. Um, and again, I want to give every one of y'all thumbs up for all the support on this channel, and I want to make it grow, and to share perspective that's ignored by mainstream culture. So anyway, I'm going to bid you all farewell and talk to y'all later. Happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. Bye bye.